Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good. I apologize for today, but as I said, I'm on a new dosage of Ozempic and it's kicking my butt because it's like double what it was before. And I didn't sleep last night properly, so I overslept during the day. So I had to reschedule this for 5:30 because Elaine was kind enough to wake me up close to 2 o'clock, and I was not really able to do anything at that point. I was just too woozy. But I hope I'm able to do something now, and it won't be a flop. Anyway, I wanted to show you a pretty neat way of doing something more summerish, but at the same time, not middle of the road like everybody's doing this kind of stuff. And I'm going to use these cutters from PolyClayPlay called Trendy Triangles. They are 40 millimeters. That's 4 centimeters, and that would be about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, something like that. So we are going a little bit of so-called painting, if you want. I have a black as my base. You can put another color. You can put a brown. You can put a very dark green. And I'm going to use some lavender, some wasabi, and some forest green, I think it's called. It's the newer green. So I'm going to use my little X-Acto knife to first make some and I thought, oh, okay, this has to be much thinner. Hold on a second. Going for the thinner setting on the pasta machine, and I'm going to first make some leaves, which are very simple to cut. It's not a big deal. You don't really need a cutter for that. In my mind, this sounded good, so we'll see how it is in real life. Okay, I have several little leaves here. And I'm going to get some hello, and thank you for calling me earlier, because who knows how long I have been dead to the world. My poor kitties were completely out of water because somebody had to play with water. Okay, so I'm going to get, actually, we want it to be, get this away. We want it to go, we go with the straight cut on top, and then we go with some very, very thin cuts. And I'm going to first prepare all my elements. And I think like 4 or 5 of these should be plenty enough. Okay. And then we will get some flowery stuff. And I'm going to do the flower petals exactly like the leaves because that is easy. So all you need to do is to do some curved lines like this. Making them slightly thinner, but I'm going to have to make quite a bit of them. And try to have them at about the same size if at all possible. I'm going to count at least 8 per flower. And I don't need the entire 8s, full 8s that is. Okay, guess I didn't cut some all the way. I had my 3rd dose this past Wednesday, so my 4th will be this coming Wednesday. And before, it took me 6 weeks to get used to the new dose, so believe me, I wish this wouldn't happen, but it's not a lot I can do about it. At least, you know, my treatment is going well. I cannot complain, and she couldn't put me to the, it has to be, it cannot be directly the highest dose, it has to be staggered. But I am going in the right direction. I think I said hi, Elaine, didn't I? I'm still a little discombobulated because I had so much stuff to catch up. Today I have to learn to not, when I have something to do it when I'm able to, not to go, let me do it tomorrow, because I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow, you know, if I'm gonna be able to do it. I keep saying that, but you know, I understand that it is frustrating for you, and it's absolutely understandable, but try to believe me when I say for me it's beyond frustrating. I used to be a super active person, and now it's like I'm spending 3/4 of my life sleeping, and it drives me nuts. Okay, now we are going to start designing our little flowers, and I'm going to make first some stems. Oh, come on, stop. Okay. This is a little bit too long. I don't need this to be this long. Not that perfectly set, but it will have to do. Okay. And here we are going to do a different thing. I'm going to do a half an oval. And then going to cut this in a diagonal. And another one in a diagonal, and one in half. So I cut too many. I'm just doing a little V here. And there we go. And I think we can put a tiny bit of yellow in the middle of this. Hi, Wanda. Yeah, I told you it took me a while to, because the phone was in the living room and I was in the bedroom, and it did wake me up, but it took me a while to be able to extract myself out of bed and get to the phone. Okay, so now we are going to burnish this. As you can see, it already looks quite pretty floral. We'll do several types of earrings. So if you want, it is a kind of painting with polymer clay, kind of, sorta. And remember, you have to have, see how, why I keep telling you that you must use wax paper for this kind of stuff, because it shows you where it's not flat. I still have some here and some here. And we'll do two different versions. I mean, we'll do this so-called painting. And I am rubbing, I am not rolling, right? And you're going to say, yeah, but it's kind of lost. The whole thing is kind of lost. Yeah, but what we can do is move the chair so I can reach. we can grab a little bit of chalk pastel, or if you have pan pastels, it's fine. And I guess for this I need some purple. And I'm going to use also this is like kind of a mix between fuchsia and burgundy. So it all depends on what colors you got, and this is driving me nuts. And there you go. And I'm grabbing some a very small so you don't have to buy an expensive thin paintbrush. What I did, this is one of the fairly thin, not so expensive paintbrushes, and I just cut so I would get a good thin tip. And I'm going to go with first the colors the closest to my petals, and I'm going to go in like this. And kind of allowing for, see how I'm drawing the edge of this other petal. And pretty much the same thing here. And you can use this kind of stuff not necessarily for what we are going to use it. I'm just showing you how to do it. So it's a combination of painting with polymer clay and painting with so now I'm using the darker one. And I'm going mostly at the base here. And let's do something about these ones too. So these will be the lines, and I'm going away from the lines. And now using the darker one. Okay, and I need need one more thing for the leaves. I'm going to use a darker green. So you first do a line, you extend the darkness on that side, and then you draw from the line a few veins. And we'll do the same for all of these. I know they are kind of backwards because normally the top part should be the lightest one, but it will look just fine. These are a little bit in the shadow of the petals, and let's do a little bit of light. There we go. It's very, very delicate. It's not a lot of work, as you can see. I'll put this back, because you know how bad I am about not having things where they are supposed to be. And we are going to see how to cut these. Because we are going to cut through the whole thing, okay? Even if it looks very pretty the way it is. And you can do this smaller if you want a whole design on one piece. You can make this much smaller so it would fit through. But one thing you need to do is to first blow everything. And then it's not a bad idea to get another piece of wax paper that I do not have. I forgot to bring me some wax paper here. And I'm not going to leave you and go grab wax paper from the kitchen because this is bad manners. I'm just going to use a piece I have here. An older piece from something else. And then it's a good idea to go with some wax paper on top of it to make sure that the whole chalk pastel is nicely pressed in. So it's not a special definite flower that we want to have. So I'm going to use, as I said, I'm going to use these, and I'm not going to use any of the ones that have the lines like this, because that wouldn't work well. But out of these other ones, so we can do some earrings with this part and a pretty. So yeah, you're gonna say, oh, but you put so much work and now you're cutting it. Yeah, Why not? I'm trying to get part of a flower on each earring. At least part of a flower. So yeah, I can do this. Or I can do this. And then I can have this part like this, and then another part here. Like this, and then a pendant. And we can make another stuff if we want some more things. We can just play around with this. Let me remove. And there we go. 2 earrings and 1 pendant, which you can place like this or you can place like this, entirely up to you. And it's the same for the earrings. And there you go. That looks like they are part of something. You can make, as you can see, because these are kind of staggered, you can actually make a whole necklace using this as the middle and these, and of course continue there as the sides, using the same type of, because of course you can make this a little bit bigger and put more flowers and have pieces of the flowers like that. Now let me get these away and let's try another look. I told you, in my mind this look good, and I think it does look good. And if you want to keep the whole thing, as I said, just make it smaller. But there we go. Of course you can resin it if you want, or you can simply varnish it, or you can sand it and of course buff it. Now let's do a little bit of a Skinner blend. I'm not going to use a lot of stuff. I'm going to use a little bit of the lavender. I'm using the exact same colors. A little bit of the lavender, a little bit of the wasabi, and a little bit of the green. And I'm going to do a little bit of a Skinner blend. I'm starting like this. I'm going to go through the pasta machine like this. And then I'm going to fan fold. And that's how we start the Skinner blend. I'm gonna ask why am I wearing long sleeves? Here it's supposed to be like 82 or 84 outside, but what I did, it was fairly chilly last night. I didn't turn on the heat, so when I woke up it was like 68 degrees in the house. So I just didn't open the door much, didn't do anything to keep the coolness in. And it's still like 71 degrees. Right now outside it's 85. Trying to economize. I don't even want to think about the price of utilities this summer. So we want to get as not perfectly perfect, but as possible, as gradienty as possible. I'm actually going to get the machine a little bit thinner on the thickness. So I'm trying to keep line on line as much as possible. So it's basically the colors. I know it's more springy, but it's still May, it's not full summer. And remember what I was telling you, that when the blooms start blooming, the very first blooms of the year, well, except for snowdrops, but the very first blooms of the year will, I mean, there's snowdrops and a few other white flowers, but otherwise it will be the yellow and all kinds of hues of purple, because that is what pollinators, when they just get out in spring, that's what they see. And plants want to be able to make seeds, right? I might add a little bit more lavender here. The advantages of using plugs. You can add a little bit at the very end. Oops. And I think now I should be okay. Always try to keep these, because the ends always have the tendency to go pretty. And I'm going to go a couple times with it through the machine on a thicker setting. And this should be good. So I'm going on the thicker setting. And there we go. Now I am taking a little bit of white and a little bit of, oops, I'm keep dropping stuff, and a little bit of black. I don't need a lot. Thank you, Wanda. I'm just going to grab from here what I didn't use, because for some reason I didn't condition more, and I don't want to keep you while I'm conditioning. And this is going to go on the thinnest possible setting. Double it because I need it to be almost as wide as that, and the same goes for the white. So I'm going to do about the same size as the back, minus about a quarter. And I'm going to put these together, and then I'm going to get them again through the pasta machine on the thinnest setting. And then it goes with the white on top, okay? I'm going to actually put it white on the bottom because I'm going to put this backwards here. And we go back to the setting that the base was on, the Skinner blend. Let me actually cut this. And then I have, I'm not sure yet which, I think I'm going to use these circles. And I chose the make-ins because I can put it through the machine, because I don't trust my hands right now with all the stuff that I have to do in the yard. So first, a little bit of Armor All. And then we go through the machine with it. It didn't go very good. I should have put it on one thinner one. It will still be okay. Should be good. Yeah, much better. And with a thin blade and a lot of Armor All, again, this is based only on color, so we will want to go all the way to, I might not have gotten it deep enough, but hopefully, there we go. Pretty stamped mokumegane. And you can make a lot of pieces out of it. And you saw there wasn't a lot of clay that I used. But the combination of the green and the wasabi and the lavender is very appealing. And you see we get some beigeish almost looking like color here between the wasabi and the lavender. And these will be two combinations that look gorgeous with those special cutters. And again, this time I think, even if the title of the video is earrings, this time I think I'm going to arrange them for a necklace. So you can see how pretty something like this can come out to be. I want a little bit more here. And here. It was too much there. And what I don't like is when I get lines from the cutting, like it was here, and then I'm gonna get a little bit more here. but I think we are good to go for making a necklace. So I need one, the smallest one. And of course you can use other cutters, other shapes, but I think that these are a little bit more unusual and very well designed to make all kinds of things. So I'm going to use this. Actually, I'm going to put it like this. And then this. I think I might even have enough for necklace and maybe a pair of earrings. And then yes, I do have enough for necklace and earrings. Did I get into it? No, I did not. There we go. So, and of course you can put them on another base, obviously, but let me get them off so we can look at the whole thing. So these would be the earrings, these ones, and then the necklace. Is this. Pretty ensemble. There we go. So with the other two with the same type of cutters, we have two different styles. Let me put these a little bit lower. We have two different styles with the same cutters. Earrings, pendant, and necklace. Okay, I hope you like it, and I hope you try it, and I hope you enjoy it. And I shall see you all next Sunday. Hopefully I'm not doing a mess again. Well, it should be better by the end of the 4th week. Okay. So thank you so much. I love you all, and try it, and I'm sure you will love it. You can try with other colors, obviously. If you want to try it with other colors, I would suggest for this one, I would suggest that you try for a more summerish, fallish, my tried and true cadmium yellow with alizarin crimson. Or you can try a bolder approach and use a fuchsia, wisteria, lavender, because that would look also beautiful. So thank you again. Have a wonderful week to come, and apologies. I love you all. Bye.